Hey, grade 9. We have officially started Romeo and Juliet with the reading, and you did a wonderful job with the reading. Some of you even changed your voice. Some of you actually exclaimed where it needed to be exclaimed, so showing that emotion. So that's awesome. Keep that up. Some of you had some really long parts, but you survived it, so you know you can do it. So I'm going to go over the summary notes with you for Romeo and Juliet. But just before I do that, we have a reminder that you did paragraphing with Mrs. Scrivens and how to indent, and of course to fix up your topic sentence and your main ideas in your paragraph, and that will help you with your research paper. You should get started on your research paper right away. If you want me to proofread it, you have until November 12th for that opportunity, and of course everything's due on November 30th. We will have the laptops on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and there's no school on Wednesday for November 11th, and of course no classes in the morning tomorrow due to PD, so your afternoon classes are as scheduled, so we'll see you then. All right, so let's get going with the Romeo and Juliet. And there we go. Okay, so press pause where you need to press pause. And we are doing Romeo and Juliet. William Shakespeare is the author. We start off with the prologue. That's an introduction and kind of a snapshot of what's going on in the play. Kind of gives us a heads up and prepares ourselves for the tragedies that will occur in this play. And so I'm not going to go into great detail with what's on the screen there. You can get that information yourself, and you should already have most of this. The play takes place in Verona, Italy. So there's two families, the Montagues and the Capulets. And they've been fighting for who knows how long they've been doing this. And they probably don't even remember the reason. We have Romeo, who's a Montague, Juliet's a Capulet. Both of them fall in love, and they get married, and they want to live in exile, free from all the feuds. And unfortunately, they can't be together, and so then they lose their lives at the end. It's the loss of those lives that ends the feud, brings the two families together, but it's a really high price that was paid. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on what could have been done differently to prevent this from happening. We're going to see the choices that were made that led to these tragic outcomes, and so we'll have those discussions as the play progresses. The next slide is Act 1, Scene 1. So we start off with the feuds again. It only takes just a spark to get a fire going, and that is the fire. We have a massive feud taking place in Verona. The prince comes in and says, 3 times you've been fighting. It has to stop. If it continues, you will pay with your life. And so then everyone disperses, and then we find out that Romeo was not part of this feud, so his father's very pleased, and his mother as well. And we find out that Romeo has a crush on a young lady named Rosalind. Okay. In Act 1, Scene 2, we find out that Paris has interest in Juliet and wants to marry her. By marrying Juliet, his status in society goes up. And with this business arrangement, which basically it is, because Juliet has no say in this, it would also not only elevate his status in society, but also allow him to continue with the family name by producing an heir. Capulet invites Paris to a party that he's putting on so that he can officially meet Juliet, because he hasn't even met her yet. Okay, and Juliet hasn't met him. So that's going to cause some problems later on. A servant is asked to go send out invitations to the invitees. And of course, and unfortunate, he cannot read what's on the letter. So he asks Romeo to read it. And so Romeo finds out who's going to be there. And guess what? Rosaline's going to be there. So he decides to crash the party. We got to Act 1, Scene 3, where Lady Capulet talks to Juliet about marrying Paris. And of course, Juliet does not want to marry Paris. She wants to marry for love. But Lady Capulet says, you do what your father says. This is what's going to happen. And so then they come to a consensus, kind of like a middle ground. And Juliet agrees to meet with Paris at the party and then go from there. So that, at least that satisfies her mother for a while. And so we also we're introduced to the nurse, the one who really cares for Juliet. Lady Capulet, Juliet's mom, didn't really care for her child growing up. It was because she was busy with her status and stuff like that. So the nurse is basically the mother figure in Juliet's life. And we haven't got to this one, so there we go. That's where we left off. All right, so if you have any questions about Romeo and Juliet, please let me know. Some of you have already talked to me about your tombstone projects and some great ideas. So come talk to me about that if you have any questions. And remember, your epitaph is 3 to 10 lines, poetic in nature. Check the course online booklet for the official assignment piece that's in your table of contents. So find out which page it is and read it through. And if you have any questions after that, then come talk to me. Okay. And there's plenty of examples in the classroom that you can be inspired to create your tombstone for whichever character you choose. All right. So no classes in the morning tomorrow. We'll see you in the afternoon. Have a good one. Take care. Be safe.